Okay, we're gonna talk about the tempo lifts that are utilized in program 1, all right? So tempo lifting essentially, and I didn't write this up here, but I'll go ahead and do it right now. So say we have a format right here. 4 basically numbers will be utilized here. So when we're notating tempo, this first number, I used letters, but the first number is going to be your eccentric. Second number is going to be any pause in the bottom position. Third number is going to be your concentric, or the actual lifting. And then the fourth number is going to be the pause at the top. So that's important to know. And I covered that, of course, in the manual. But when we talk tempo work, we're essentially manipulating any or all of these variables. So let's just say we want to do a squat with a 3-second eccentric and a 2-second pause in the bottom. We would just notate that as 3, 2, X, 1 is how I would typically notate that. So 3-second eccentric, 2-second pause in the bottom position, standing up strong, so an X is how I notate that, and then a 1-second pause in the top position just to kind of reset and get air back. So that's your tempo, okay? So with that said, I like tempo lifting, and it fit well with this program because we're working with 4 main lifts in the as the main strength lifts. So we got squat, bench, deadlift, and overhead press. So with my groups meeting 3 days a week, running a 4-week block means that they would get to work with each main lift 3 times in that 4-week block. So I wanted to get a little bit more work done with the main lift patterning. So with the tempo lifts being used as a secondary lift on that training day, what's cool about that is we not only get we get additional work on the main lifts, but we also, it gives you a second lift to do that day, but we also can hit both lower and upper body in the same training session. So if we've got squat as the main lift that day, we're working off percentages with it, then the tempo lift is going to be some variation of an overhead press. So that's kind of nifty because, you know, like I only see my group clients 3 days a week. I can't really control what they're doing on their days off from there. I feel like most people need to have a kind of total body focus each time they train. That's just me, but I feel like that kind of is comprehensive. It hits everything. So another really nifty thing about the tempo work is that it allows you to use lighter loading, okay? The emphasis is on execution. We're working on positions. We're thinking about alignment and just simply feeling the lift as you're executing it. So lighter loads, typically, like if you're doing a 3-second eccentric plus a 2-second pause on a squat, you're not going to use your 80% of your 1 rep max loading to do that. I'd like to see you try to do that at least for reps. It's going to force you to use lighter loads, so that right there is less intimidating for people that may be newer to this. So that's kind of neat, but also too, the point's not to load it based on a certain number. Like you can kind of put your ego aside, which is actually pretty cool because these can be very humbling for people. So it just essentially just takes the emphasis off the loading itself. So with these, to wrap this up, I recommend with this program doing a total of 3 to 5 total work sets, okay, of 4 to 6 reps on these tempo lifts. There are some variations. I use some kind of funky, I have a double paused bench press, for example. There's some different variations that kind of go against the grain of a typical standard tempo, but just in a nutshell, 3 to 5 total work sets of 4 to 6 reps work great for the tempo lift. So there you have it.